must be saying a lot then. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us anyway. So,
no, thanks for asking me.
Yeah, no problem. The first thing I want to get into is I'm really interested in how people have adopted and changed their training around. Like, obviously, we're socially isolating. We have to keep 2 meters distance. We can't go out to the gym. How are you still training and still keeping up with your fitness and your conditioning? Obviously, in the house or at your local sort of garage or whatever.
Yeah, it's been. At first, it wasn't tricky. I was even more motivated to, adapt to the situation. I'm lucky because I live on a farm.
All right.
So I've got quite a bit of access to what I'd call like junk lying about, but it's not because it's there's like loads of bits lying around the farm that's quite handy to use and adapt to your training. So I'm working with I don't know if you've heard of him. It's called Michael Wheatman. I
was going to ask you about that. I've seen I follow you both on Instagram and social media, and we'll get into Mike Wheatman's sort of philosophy and that in a bit. But he's got some quite interesting sort of philosophies, hasn't he, on just using sandbags or using any equipment that you can find.
Well, yeah, that's how it's like. That's how my training's adapted. Really, is just finding what's about, and he's like, we've planned my training of just being creative and what we have and what we can do with it. So it's been really fun. Like we've just been planning sessions, or he's been sending me the sessions, telling me what to do, and it's been. I feel stronger than what I did before lockdown. Really, I know I'm not doing any wrestling training because there's no one in my household who wrestles.
You can keep up with you.
I think my dad's a bit too old to be doing some wrestling, but yeah, it's I definitely feel stronger than what I was before lockdown. So that's been one of the positives that's come from it. Really, is adapting and coming up with new things to carry on. And to be honest, I probably I will be going back to the gym to train, but like it's made me realise if there was a time where I don't need to go to the gym, I can use what's around me.
I know. I think a lot of people have realised that, haven't they? Like you've got to work with what you've got and the resources that you've got to hand, and if that means lifting up sandbags, or I've seen you doing some chin-ups on the end of a tractor and all that kind of stuff. Like, I think it's made people realise that you don't necessarily need to pay a membership to go to the gym. If you've got some stuff that's heavy, you can just pick it up and put it down, and all these fundamental human movements.
Yeah, like body weight exercises that he's giving me, and I'm like, that's harder than just doing like standard stuff in the gym, like bench press or squatting or mental.
Yeah. So can you just give us a little example then of what a training session would be then in the current circumstances that we find ourselves in?
Well, it's been changing every week, but for the strength conditioning, it's been like I've got an example here actually. It's been like a lower body and upper body exercise, like a power exercise, then followed by some body weight exercises. So I've been doing like Turkish get-ups, squats, diagonal squats. It's been every session's different. We've been doing a lot of conditioning. One that was really, really tough, that's really probably underrated, but it's very good for wrestling, is I was just going up and down the garden doing burr crawls.
All right.
50-meter burr crawl, and you think, oh, it's not too bad that, because when you do it in a warm-up, you just like get on with it. But when you're doing it 50 meters, it's like, it's quite a killer. So in between that, like burpees, working your way down a ladder. So it's hard to say what does a session look like, because everyone's been different. Some rowing for conditioning. It's
so you're totally just keeping the body guessing all the time.
Yeah, and some days I'm thinking, bloody hell, I'm really unfit here. But it's just because I'm working different systems and different muscle groups, really.
Yeah, you're not allowing the body to adapt, are you? You're just completely changing it around. So when you think you're not really getting fitter, you're getting fitter in a whole different like range of exercises, aren't you? Rather than specifying on one thing.
Yeah, that Burkwell sent me over the edge. So that's seriously like underrated in terms of conditioning, especially for grappling. Because you're working your upper body and your lower body.
Yeah, really interested in simple and minimal exercises that are specific to sort of grappling and jiu-jitsu, because I do sort of attribute any wrestlers, for me personally, are the most like athletic and explosive and conditioned athletes knocking about. So anything that we can take from what wrestlers do for conditioning and try and implement it into a jiu-jitsu warm-up or a jiu-jitsu session is going to improve everyone, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Yeah, but you know what? If you went to a wrestler, or I don't know, in general, just said like, "Here you go, right, plan a session." I think normally you tend to work towards your strengths,
Mm-hmm.
and you get comfortable. Well, I found that I have anyway. You get comfortable just doing what you're good at.
Yeah.
And just be like, I don't know, a lot of back exercises. You know, 'cause wrestlers have a strong upper body, so it might just stick to pull-ups and what have you. But if you can stress the body just enough and challenge it in different ways, then you can really see, benefit and some gains from doing something new.
Yeah. So is that why you started working with Mike to sort of maybe change things up and stop you making that decision where you always end up working on the stuff that you're good at? Is that why you started working with him, to maybe change it all around? And
I mean, it was one of the reasons. The main reason was I knew I needed to do some strength training, because I'm moving up to 74 kilos from 65.
Right.
It's a big jump in weight, and the style's a bit different. So I'm going to need to be a lot more stronger than what I am.
Right.
And put some weight on. So that was the main reason, but it's not the main reason. The main reason being is that one, it's enjoyable training with him. Every session's different. It's challenging, and third reason is he's really a really good guy, a great coach, and I think that is like the main reason why people train in the first place and be part of a jiu-jitsu team or wrestling team, rugby team, because of the people you have around you. Yeah,
it's the camaraderie of it all, isn't it? I don't know if you know Jamie Acton, but Jamie Acton was on a few episodes ago, and he was talking about his experiences of stopping playing professional rugby league, and he wanted to find that camaraderie again that he had when he played for a rugby team professionally, and he found it in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Yeah, and that camaraderie.
It's hard to come across like someone who you can click with, as a athlete coach. I mean, it's really neglected, I think, in sport, finding that. Like, I've been to uni and studied sport coaching, and
right,
and how important it is to connect with your athletes.
And
I think that's what Michael's really good at.
Yeah, connecting on that human level. Yeah. I've seen some of his posts on Instagram and stuff, and he is all about like what the athlete needs, isn't it? All catered to what you need rather than what he wants to try and instill in you. He's very much like led by what your needs are.
It's not easy, because you'll know yourself, being a jiu-jitsu coach, you do get drawn into like yourself as a coach and what you want to do for them.
Yeah.
Whereas he wants to get it out of you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah.
You to do for you, not like do it for him.
Yeah. It's like what you said before about, say we're teaching like an open mat, or we're going through some techniques. I'm obviously going to get drawn to the techniques that I consider that I'm good at.
That you like. I'm the same. I do it a lot.
Yeah. Rather than the stuff that I consider like, weak, that's a weak aspect of my repertoire. I'd feel a bit self-conscious, maybe going through some moves that I'm not really confident in showing. So definitely, that is something that I am conscious about, and I'm working on as well. Like,
It's an art to coaching. It's not like one size fits all, is it? You're working.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different need and what they want to get out of the session.
Yeah, I know, definitely. So you touched on there, and it's something that I never really thought about, where you're going up in weight and the styles change. How did the styles change then? Can you just explain a little bit about that?
Well, down at 65 compared to 74 is like I was cutting. The last time I wrestled 65 was 2018 at the Commonwealth Games, and it's in wrestling. It's the same day weigh-in. So you weigh in, and then 2 hours later you wrestle. And I was cutting down from 72 to 65, and with that being the same day, it was a lot of stress on the body. Losing 7 kilos over a 3-4 week time frame, not very healthy. So I thought, I did a few years, because the next Commonwealth is in 2022. That's like the main thing for us in British wrestling, is the Commonwealth Games.
Right.
And the weight in between 65 and 74 is 70, but 70 isn't an Olympic weight category. So that means it's not Olympics or Commonwealth Games. So I thought, oh, well, I'm going to have to make a jump up to 74. And obviously, with the size, there's quite a bit of, there's 9 kilos between it. And there's guys cutting down from maybe 78 to 74.
Yeah.
So there's a big strength factor that comes into play with the 2 weight categories. 65 is more about, I'd say, like more about speed.
Mm-hmm.
At 74, definitely a lot more powerful. If you know Jordan Burroughs.
Yes, yeah, American, yeah.
The size difference between him and myself right now, you'd be thinking there's a big difference there. So that's probably a good comparison of how a good fit 74 kilo wrestler would look. He's a big man.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. So so the Commonwealth is 2022. Was there any? I don't know much about like sort of the Olympic setup for wrestling and that. Was there any? Has it affected you with maybe not having the Olympics on this year? Would that have been something you'd have gone for, or the British team?
What it is, the British team are only funding 2 athletes at the minute who can go to the qualifiers to qualify. So it's not like people ask me this a lot, you're not going to the Olympics. Well, there's 13 places worldwide. And there's about, I think, off the top of my head, there's about 5 places for European countries.
All right.
So when you're up against all these Soviet countries who are predominant for picking up medals in World Championships, Olympics, European Championships, some really, really tough competition. So if you don't qualify through your European qualifier, you have to go to a world one. So all them countries in the world who haven't qualified, there's 2 places left.
Yeah.
So the competition's really, really tough. It's a lot tougher than what people.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that. It was that cutthroat, to be honest. Yeah.
People think, oh, you're the British champion, you go in the Olympics. No, it's not. It's not as straightforward as that. And when the sport is so poorly funded in this country because we've not won any previous medals.
Yeah.
Sport England are just, or UK Sport are just concentrating on who wins medals on an international stage like World Championships, European Championships.
Yeah.
It's really tricky to prepare for these competitions.
Yeah. Did you compete recently at the Europeans in Rome? Was it?
Yeah, European Championships in Rome.
We was actually in Rome at the same time.
All right.
I was in Rome with my wife just on a weekend break, and it was only when we were doing all the sightseeing, and it was only when I was seeing all these people with like cauliflower ears and things. I was like, what's going on? And then I realised through your Instagram and George Ram's Instagram that the European Championships were on in Rome at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Every time we went down to the Colosseum, I think twice. Every time we went down, it was just like a takeover of wrestlers from all over Europe.
Yeah.
Well, again, that was a great experience. Just to be there with, you're with the best in your weight category from each national champion from each country. So it was really good experience to see what the level is, and you see all the top guys. I don't know if you know, like Frank Chamizo, Sadulayev, you've probably heard of.
Yeah. He's Chamizo Italian. Is he Italian, isn't he? Yeah. So he won in his hometown, did he as well? He won in his home country.
Yeah. Well, he's not his hometown. He's Cuban, but.
Oh right, sorry. Yeah.
He won the gold for Italy, and atmosphere was electric when he won.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
But yeah, being side by side with all the best some of the best in the world, Olympic medalist. It was, it was a good experience.
Yeah. Because Saudolev, is it? Sorry, I don't know how you pronounce it. Saudolev.
Sadulayev, yeah.
Saudolev. He beat Schneider, didn't he? In the last, was that the Worlds?
World Championships.
Yeah. Quite quickly as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. He's a monster.
I know. I mean, as you know, you've took us for seminars and stuff, and my wrestling knowledge is very, very basic. It's not something I've ever done before and that, but I do like watching it. I don't mind following it, and I'm intrigued by the techniques and the explosiveness and how the techniques flow into each other. And even though it is an athletic and powerful activity, the moves are quite graceful, how they flow from one technique to the other. And I was kind of watching, so like the World Championships, I followed it on YouTube, some of the matches and that, but specifically looking at if I was to be at that level, what my weight category. So I'm 87, so I was looking at like the people who were competing in like the 92, and that was them guys in it, Kyle Schneider and Saudolev, and I was like, oh my god, they are monsters.
Yeah, what are you, 87?
I'm 87, yeah.
Yeah.
So would you cut down then, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Well, there'd probably, I know I said before about me cutting like 7 kilo, but it wouldn't put it past if there was guys who were cutting down from 87 to 79.
Really? Jesus.
Yeah, maybe. It depends on the body, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah.
If not 86, but for you to wrestle at 86, you'd be small.
Really?
1 kilo.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you don't get any out of shape wrestlers, even at 125 kilo, the muscle on muscle.
Yeah, they're in shape, yeah. It's phenomenal. So do you think that's where like the pattern of weight cutting in like MMA has sort of took away a lot from wrestling? How wrestlers can weight cut in quite quick time. Is that where the weight cut issues in MMA have come from?
You mean like, do you think MMA fighters have adopted what wrestlers have done in the past?
Yeah, in terms of weight cutting to lose quite a lot of weight in a short space of time.
To be honest with you, I'd probably say it's the other way around.
All right.
Because MMA fighters have been known to cut like some of them stupid amounts of weight, like 10.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah.
So, have you ever read Henry Cejudo's book?
I've not, no.
It's really good. It's quite old now, but he talks about in the 2008 Olympics how he cut, I can't remember how much it was, but he must have had, I think, 6 kilo to cut on the day of weighing.
Yeah.
How he was struggling in the sauna and on the pedal bike to lose the weight to make weighing for the Olympics.
Yeah, that's just under a stone, isn't it?
Yeah, he said he can't remember weighing in. But that's why it's changed to the same day weighing in wrestling, because it's just not. It's definitely not healthy doing that.
Yeah.
Life or death, you can kill yourself.
I know, it's unbelievable.
But I wouldn't really know how to answer that question, because I think it's works both ways. I mean, people are always finding new ways, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, even if you did it like, even if MMA was done same day weigh-ins or whatever, then people would find a way to try and get an edge. It's just what people do, isn't it? To find any 1% edge to win. Yeah.
It was interesting to see when these new rules came out, who moved up and who moved down, because Sadulayev moved from 86 to 97.
Right.
That was probably an indicator that he was cutting a lot of weight to make 86.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's one size fits all again, like for cutting weight in wrestling or martial arts in general.
Mm-hmm.
Jiu-jitsu in it, same day weighing.
Yeah.
Plus you got to put your gi on.
Yeah, put your gi on. Yeah. People buying lightweight gis.
Lots of people have got different ways that suit them as well.
I know it's the body is different for everyone, isn't it? And the body adapts in different ways for each individual as well. Like some people can look at the fridge and put a stone on, can't they? Whereas other people can't struggle to put any sort of weight on no matter what they eat. So the body just is it's individual, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know we're in lockdown now, and obviously you're restricted to what you can and can't do. But like I said, I follow you on Instagram and your social media, and you're all over the place. Whether that's coaching at different MMA gyms or gyms, you're coaching at Aspel, you're doing your one-to-ones, and you're obviously competing on the weekend. Is that the German league that you was competing in on the weekend?
Yeah. So that runs from September to December.
Yeah.
That's been cancelled this season because of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, it might change. But
yeah. So I was going to ask you, how do you keep up with your busy schedule in terms of your own training, plus running all your one-to-one sessions, your seminars, and competing as well? How do you handle all that? Because that's a busy schedule. That
it's tricky. Obviously, you don't when you're doing it at the time, you love it, and you don't. I never really think about how busy I am. I'm just cracking on because I'm doing wrestling all day, and it's what I love doing. And now this time's come where it's like you come to a complete standstill for blooming heck. Like I was pretty
grafting,
full on.
Yeah.
Like it was hard to sit still. But to be honest with you, I just appreciate doing what I do. I don't really think I'm busy, and there's never a second where I think I just want to I want to sit still.
Yeah.
But there's times where it's tiring, so it's a lot of physical training. Even the one-to-ones,
you're doing it with the individual, aren't you? So you're training as well, really.
Yeah, and coaching, it is a lot on the body. So I just mainly try and look after myself, get enough sleep, make sure my diet's right. Not going out daft on the weekend.
Yeah.
Just general stuff, to stay on top of myself. If I do need a day off, then that's fine. Like,
yeah,
nothing.
You don't beat yourself up about it. You listen to your body.
Yeah, it's took a long time to get get a schedule that suits me, because I want to fit the strength conditioning as well, which was hard at the start, and that started at 1 day a week, and now it's gone to 2 days a week, and it's just finding that balance on each day, which is suitable for me. So one day might be like a tough day, next day might be not as hard. So like on a Monday, I'll have like strength conditioning in the morning, maybe 1 or 2 privates, and then training in the evening, which is considered as like a lighter day. And then Tuesday might be easier in the morning, because I coach class at Hammer in Tellings, and have a private there beforehand with Conor Hignett and Conor Martin. So it's just balancing what's right and getting that schedule. And then in the evening, like training at British Wrestling Academy in Salford, that'll be like one of my harder sessions. Wednesday will be an easier, well, not easier, but a lighter day, just training in the evening. I'll look in a few schools on a Wednesday. Thursday, strength conditioning. And then Friday is normally a busy day in terms of coaching, but I don't do any training myself on a Friday.
Right, okay.
I've changed my mindset from being like, typical wrestler of absolutely slogging yourself till that's how my mentality used to be, is like, if you're not tired, then you've not worked hard enough. But I've come out of time for train smarter, train.
You're training for longevity, aren't you? Yeah.
And I feel better. I felt at my best wrestling in the league this season because of that, because I'm not slogging myself.
Yeah. So what are you doing in terms of like recovery? I know you said about sleeping and nutrition, but is there any stuff you do like for mobility or like stretching and recuperation, all that kind of thing?
Yeah, do some like I do some stuff with Michael, like every now and then, called CARS. I don't know what it stands for, but it's like mobility. It's like mobility movement, which is really good. He fits them into sessions. sleep, making sure I'm getting at least 8 hours. Because
is that in one go, or is that like including a nap as well in the afternoon, maybe?
Yeah, sometimes I'll have a nap if I've nothing on in the afternoon. And I always try and eat enough fruit and veg as well.
Yeah.
One thing I've tried doing this lockdown is making smoothies.
Oh, right, nice.
I'll see how I feel after that. So it's just common sense, really. It's
the basics, like doing the
a lot
basics.
of people really overthink it, don't they?
Yeah, I know.
In terms of what they need to be doing, and then they start panicking. Then like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, and it's just like, chill out, just look at yourself, drink a lot of water, eat right, and sleep.
Exactly. Yeah. Definitely. That's it. At the end of the day, in essence, that's all it is, isn't it? Yeah.
You don't
I
need
used to when I've done, like, before I started doing jiu-jitsu, I used to be quite big into sort of like just going in the gym lifting weights, like, because I was a lot bigger, and I started listening and reading a lot of a guy called Dan John. I don't know if you've ever come across him.
No.
He's an American, like, athletics coach, NFL, but he also does track and field as well. He's a coach, and he was basically his whole philosophy was like, it's not sexy, it's not going to sell. So, but you just do what you just said there. You drink plenty of water, do all the 5-6 fundamental movements: squat, push, pull, hinge, carry, and some groundwork. Eat right, sleep right, get your vegetables, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you want to reach a high level of sport, I think you do need to go through a stage of what we call in wrestling, like, grinding.
Right.
You do need to feel that fatigue and stress. Really, really pushing yourself to the limits.
Yeah.
If you want to be at a high level of sport, that's what you want. I think you do need to feel that, and then work out a way of what's best for you.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in Canada for a year I did a 1-year exchange in Canada to one of Canada's, it is Canada's best wrestling university, and I did that the year before the Commonwealths.
All right.
I planned to make the England team, and that was really, really full on. Like, we was doing easily 4 hours a day of training, 3.5, 4 hours a day of training from Monday to Saturday.
Yeah.
So that was a wake up call for me of like, how hard do you need to push yourself to be at the top at the Olympic level of wrestling?
Yeah.
And I guess until you've really felt that stress on your body, you don't know like what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
It's not always. It's definitely not always the right way, but
you need to go through it.
You need to go through it to understand the discipline that you need and the sacrifices you need to make.
Yeah. Well, just before we started talking, like, I watched your 2018 bronze medal at the Gold Coast and that, and then you just explained that you went to Canada and that before it was preparation. What can you talk a little bit about the mentality needed to be in the upper echelons of any sort of activity? And wrestling is one of the hardest, like you're talking about that grind there. What does it take mentally to be at that level?
I mean, for me, I didn't know till I went and did it.
Yeah.
I went, how old was I? So I was 20. So 2017, it was the year before the games. I thought, well, I'm not getting the training that I need to be of a medal hope over here due to the lack of training partners. So I went with the mindset of like, well, I want to go somewhere just to train hard, but it's not just that you're learning a culture and a mentality of sacrificing a lot, moving away from your family to live in a different country. It's not like it's an hour flight away. It's
across the other side of the world.
New environment. It's the best decision I've ever made in my life, really.
Yeah.
So I was there for just under a year, and it just took my level from here to where it needed to be, and to experience them, that level of training that I don't even know how to describe it. It's like I said, like embracing the grind.
The grind, yeah.
It was a really good opportunity to have 6 or 7 different training partners, all around my size, pushing you every day, challenging you. You go from being like over here to one of the best and being comfortable at being one of the best in your gym or in your area.
Yeah.
Being just like everyone else, getting pushed every day, getting beat.
Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of people lack is, being comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't stay in your comfort zone. You have to like find them training partners who are gonna challenge you and get the best out of you. And the coach was the same every day, really challenging you. His mentality was, being harsh to get the best out of you, and like it's not about taking it personal. It's he wants the best for you.
Yeah, he needs to take you to those places mentally or physically to get the best out of you, doesn't he?
Yeah, take you to them places that you don't want to be. But
yeah,
what's the saying where it's like if it doesn't stress you, but if it doesn't challenge you mentally, then you're not gonna change, are you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I know. I don't know if you've come across Ross Edgley at all. He's recently famous for swimming around Great Britain.
For what?
He swam around Great Britain.
Yeah, I think of.
He's been on quite a lot of podcasts and media, and he's got a book out at the end of this month. So you may have heard him on like YouTube and stuff like that. But he talks about this self-governor theory, whereas when we start reaching the limits of what we perceive to be our potential, we pull a handbrake. Our body pulls a handbrake that says, right, you're not comfortable anymore. You need to stop doing this. And to achieve like new heights and new things, we need to be pushing past that self-governor. We need to go past it. Yeah, that's what he talks about.
That's how it was for me as well. Like, getting up at 6 a.m. to go and do a wrestling training session. It was like at the time, it was like, oh God, I've never done this before. But
your body starts acting like, oh no, let's get comfortable. Let's reverse and go back to its comfortable environment. But like you're saying, to reach those heights and to achieve what you achieved, you need to be going that extra mile and being completely out of your comfort zone, don't you?
Yeah, it never really clicked until we went on a training camp to Iowa. So I don't know if you've heard of like Iowa Hawkeyes or
Iowa are a big state for wrestling, aren't they? Am I right in saying that? Yeah.
It's where Dan Gable used to wrestle and be the coach of. If you've heard of Dan Gable,
right? Yes, yeah.
The Brands brothers are the coaches there now, and it really hit home for me was when I went there for a camp. We was doing sparring and some guy had like scored an easy takedown on me, and it's because I was tired and like I probably thought in my head, oh, I'll take it easy.
Yeah.
The coach absolutely ripped into me in front of about 40 other lads, like just give me the biggest bollocking ever, basically saying like, why do you just give up on yourself? And that's when and he wouldn't let go of it for about 10 minutes, and it was proper getting me down. But that's probably what I needed to, come out of comfort.
Definitely.
Really, just don't give up on yourself.
Yeah. Is that something that sticks with you now then?
Yeah, it does, and it's hard because you try and adapt it to your own training with your own clients, but there's an art to it, like with being a coach and doing that. People react differently to it, don't they? So
again, it's knowing your audience, isn't it? It's knowing who likes the being shouted at and pushed, and who likes a little bit of more of a softly approach,
Yeah, you see it in this time as well, where you might be in your garden doing a workout and you don't want to push yourself. You might just give up, and you have to think back to them times where it's like where it's been tough and get it out.
Yeah, I think it's important. Like again, we spoke about with Jamie, like intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, and I think you've got to use whatever works for you, haven't you? Whether that's for someone else to look at you and you feel good because they're looking at you and thinking, oh, he's working hard, or whether from that that value starts inside. Whether for your own personal pride, you need to do it. You need to work. You need to do whatever works for you, don't you, to get it done?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So let's go right back to the beginning, mate. How did you get into wrestling? You grew up in Wigan.
Yeah.
How did you get into wrestling from the start? What sort of introduced you to it?
Well, originally my sister did it before me.
Right.
She's how old is she? 9 years older than me. Don't even know how old she is. She's 32.
We'll have to edit that bit out.
So she did it before me. So I used to go watching her training at the local wrestling club in Aspel, and she was like, obviously, growing up, not battering me, but like
keeping you in your place. Yeah.
And, yeah, that's how I got into it. So when I was old enough, my dad started taking me when I was 6, and it just started from there. Because in Aspel, where I started, it's quite, in Wigan in general, it's quite it's got a history of being a rich, not rich, what's the word, like a popular sport.
Yeah.
In
a lot of history, a lot of heritage involved in wrestling in Wigan and that, isn't it? Yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for, in Wigan. So that's how I started. Yeah, when I was 6.
And did you enjoy it straight off the bat, or was there a little bit of, you didn't want to do it, maybe you was pushed into it, or did you take to it straight away?
Bit of both, really. We had like a friend, a strong team at Aspel when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Made lots of good lifelong friends through wrestling. So it's a tough sport for any kid, really. To just be put on a mat and against someone else, and
and be
I mean,
around.
I don't mean training. I mean at a competition, you've got all them people watching and parents shouting like,
the pressure and
parents who've never done any martial arts before, you're like, God, he's back, and it is quite tough, and that's why I've got a lot of respect for any kid who will come to Aspel now and step on the mat and just have a do, because it's not. When I think back to being a kid, it's not easy. Like the nerves you get as a child, you see with some of the kids now, and I'm thinking there's not really. I can understand why they're like that, but there's not really a need, because you're not doing it to please your mum and dad. You're doing it for yourself. When I think of what the sport's given me, I mean, as a person, it's like you just wish they could like look ahead of in 10 years' time and think who they can become and what they can achieve off the mat.
Yeah. I think even in terms of, I mean, I'll get you to speak about sort of the things that it's done for you in a minute, but like even if parents could see sort of the mental resilience that it would give the kids when they've grown up, and to be able to handle adversity and a little bit of stress, to be able to handle it, and I think we'd see.
Definitely.
I know.
Life in general, like say, like being resilient to cope with things in life, because it's not a fun path, is it?
Exactly. I know.
So back to your question, I did enjoy it. I did have a lot of success as a kid. It wasn't always successful. I've not always been the best.
Yeah.
But that's why the sport's so good, because it's how do you bounce back after you've had a defeat, and it's not just being technically and physically better. It's how you going to cope with it upstairs. Yeah.
And how do you cope with it upstairs then? What are the things you go through, the processes you go through after a loss?
It's a tricky question, that, because I've done it from being 6 years old.
Would you watch your match back again and see sort of if you made any mistakes? No.
That's one thing that I'm really bad at doing.
Right.
I cope with it better mentally. I don't know. That is a tricky question to answer. I think I just always referring back to why I do it.
Yeah.
And you know, what has it given me?
Yeah.
That's what keeps me motivated.
Yeah.
So I keep getting sidetracked here with the questions.
Don't worry about it, mate. I'll try and bring it back to some sort of structure in a minute. But I was just interested in, one of the things that I'm really interested in is like the mental side of things. And again, when you look at like the upper echelons of any sport, it is down to the mental side, isn't it? If you're all equal physically, then what is that extra little margin that is going to give you the success? And it comes down to the mental side of it, doesn't it? Whether that's in victory or defeat. I'm really interested in how people cope with both sides of the coin.
Yeah, I mean, I always think when I win, if I win like, I don't know, British Championships, yeah, it's good, but it's not. That's not the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in wrestling, it's like, it's never enough.
There's always something else.
You know, I mean, there's always something else. So it's important to stay humble and, you know, focused on the bigger picture, really.
Yeah. So is the bigger picture at the moment, like you said before, 2021, sort of?
2022, yeah. So
2022.
That's next Commonwealth Games. That's, you know, that's the long-term goal. But the short-term goal is getting there.
Yeah.
Short, medium-term goal is getting there. That's the hardest part. You know, it's not about like, you've got to get there first. You've got to qualify.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So, you know, winning the British Championships, English Championships, and getting some international results will come before then. So those are 2 stones. Qualifying for the games.
And you qualify through the process of competing in the German league? Is that the end game for that?
No. I mean, that's been one of the best decisions made in terms of keeping myself focused and getting that match experience every week against some good competition.
Yeah.
We're going to push me, and it's beneficial for me since the 2018 games. Is, you know, having that regular match fitness, keeping me on my toes.
Yeah.
And having a focus, it's been really good.
Mm-hmm. So we touched on a little bit before that you're obviously a coach as well as a competitor. But how do you balance that mindset of even though you still want to compete, you still want to achieve big things, but you're also a coach as well? Is there one you prefer over the other? Or I know that's probably hard to say because you're still like in your peak of your career trying to achieve more. But is there one that you prefer over the other? Do you see yourself more of a coach or more of a competitor?
It's very, very hard because you know that, like, if you want to be at the highest level, you can't. It's like having a job and wanting to be the best.
Yeah.
It's one or the other. So to keep it 50-50, it's very tricky. But I don't know. They both come hand in hand.
Yeah.
We both help each other. I'm very lucky that I can do a job where, you know, it's part of my training, and to train with, to be training every day, all day. So it's, I do. It wouldn't be fair to say that there's one that I prefer, because I enjoy them both.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, when I finish wrestling, I want to carry on coaching. So, you know, I want to pass my knowledge on to other people of not technical skills and physical skills. Is, you know, what has wrestling given me that can help other people in their lives? You know, it's with jiu-jitsu, like how it can, you know, help people mentally as well as physically. It's
massive, isn't it? I mean, if you can talk a little bit about how what has wrestling done for you as a person? What has it done for
you? Big one for me that I've been thinking about really in the lockdown is being resilient. You know, coping well under this difficult time that we're in. So
it's a big word at the moment, isn't it? A lot of people are throwing around the word resilience and being able to cope with stressful situations, because there's a quote that I really like by Tony Robbins, and it's the quality of your life is directly in proportion to the amount of uncertainty you can handle. So if you're used to coping with uncertain times and stressful situations and adversity, you'll have a better quality of life. And you can get that from doing activities such as wrestling, jiu-jitsu, that are going to push you mentally, aren't they, every time?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not every day that I've woke up in the last 7 weeks and thought, you know what, I'm like looking forward to today of doing something. But
it's tough, isn't it? I mean, everyone goes through tough. Everyone has negative thoughts and shows negative behaviours and that, but it's how you bring your mindset back and change your state and all that, isn't it?
So I think, yeah, definitely. I just, think back to what I've got around me, who I've got around me, and that I think it's like when I think of wrestling, like I live every day the same as what I would if I was sticking to my schedule.
Yeah.
You wake up and it's putting things into perspective of what you've got.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not going to last forever, is it?
I know.
So I think when I go through a stressful situation, it's not going to last forever. And just put things in perspective, what you've got around you and who you've got around you. That's the main thing.
Yeah, I think that's important. What you just touched on there is knowing that the bad times aren't going to last forever, are they? And if you can keep a structure, keep a routine, put one foot in front of the other, keep turning up, keep getting out of bed, keep putting your shoes on, keep going, putting your running trainers on, whatever, keep suiting up, eventually the day will be over, the bad times will have gone. They will end eventually, won't they? And that's an important point to touch on that, definitely.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's like a training camp really. Like every day you're doing it because you love it, but every day is like a beasting, and it's not going to last forever. Yeah. And then when you see the end results, it's worth it.
Yeah, I was reading SAS Who Does Wins on the telly.
Yeah,
been reading out Middleton's book, and they were asking him how he got through like the SAS training and the hell weeks that they have on like the SAS and stuff, and he was like, I just made my world very small. So me goals were literally just to get to the end of the day, or get to the next meal, or get to the next sunrise. Keep your world small. Don't start thinking too far in advance. Just think to the next, like get to dinner or get to the next break or whatever. Using little incremental goals to get through a bigger adversity.
Yeah, I was speaking to I went running on Friday. I don't know if you know who Andrew Clampy.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's an MMA fighter.
Yeah, I think some people have referred to him in the gym before. Like a few lads from the gym know him. Yeah,
he was talking like saying, it's when you think back of difficult situations, like obviously cutting weight or preparing for a fight and the stress that you go through and competition. This isn't that bad, and that's why I think it links like martial arts and tricky times. Is it doesn't last forever.
I know.
You just crack on, and like Ant Middleton saying, you just get to lunchtime or get to dinner time. It's one step at a time, and not thinking. Don't think like in the long run. It's like when you set goals for a competition. I'm not thinking of 2022. I'm thinking about winning the British Championships first. I think a big mistake a lot of people make, I make it myself, is thinking one step ahead.
Yeah.
Take your time. We've got all the time in the world on our hands. Yeah. So what's the rush?
Yeah. Put things in place, rather than thinking, because that's what causes a lot of anxiety. And to be honest, is people thinking too far in advance and worrying about tomorrow that they can't control, instead of like remaining like present and thinking about the now and what they can do now to achieve that goal that's a bit farther in the future.
What you can control.
Yeah, definitely.
Down yesterday, but I was just watching the news, and you see things on Facebook, or Boris Johnson's doing an announcement on Sunday. You're like, yes. Then you're constantly waiting for Sunday, then, aren't you?
I know. I've just done the same with my wife. I've been like, oh, yeah, imagine how many people are going to be around the telly on Sunday. We'll have to make sure we're in for that.
Thinking then, like, what's he going to say? What's he going to say on Sunday? Is he going to like open everything up? Or is he going to do this? Someone on Facebook's like, yeah, well, the garden centres are open and construction sites are back up and running on Monday. Like, well, yeah, but you don't know that, like that, and then that becomes in your head. Then that's what's good.
Yeah, you get caught up in it, don't you? Because I think there's something flying around at the moment of, again, it's not official, but like these 5 phases that the government might start to implement. And obviously, I was looking down to see like when like contact sports would start, and that is obviously one of the last ones to be introduced. So my mind starts like extrapolating this information, then thinking, oh, it's going to be like August before we can start getting back in the gym and having contact and that. And I've completely lost like the now and the present, and I'm thinking about August. So it's a spiral, isn't it? Your mind end up spirals out of control.
Yeah, you do, definitely. And I think it's back to what we were talking about. It's like just concentrating on what you can control and what's happening now.
Yeah.
Not what's happening in next week.
Definitely.
Yeah, it is really, really hard to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, the few conversations I've had over these podcasts, and we're sort of reiterating the same points and the same subjects over and over again, because they are important subjects, and it's not been done on purpose. It's just that the people who I'm talking to and myself have like the same sort of views on it, that it is about resilience and trying to remain present and that. But I'm not saying that I'm perfect at it or it's easy. I mean, I'm the same as everybody else. I struggle with trying to keep present and not worrying about the future and that. But the more I can try and talk about it, then that helps me then as well, is remain in the moment and keep things in perspective.
Yeah. It's like they say, don't you? Just talk.
Yeah.
Just talk. I think that's the best way. I mean, touch wood, luckily I've never been in like that situation where I've been really down about things, but when I have, just talk to your family, talk to your friends.
Definitely. We used to run so I run the jiu-jitsu club. That's a part-time role for me at the moment. Hopefully I'm going to try and make it full-time. But I also work at a charity that's connected to Lee Centurions, Lee Community Trust. And we used to run a men's mental health talking group. And it was all like peer-to-peer support. So there was no real professionals there. And it just allowed men to come and talk about their problems, get stuff off the chest with no like judgments or anything. And one of the biggest things that came out of that was, yeah, talking is really good, getting stuff off your chest, not bottling it up. But what I found really interesting was just the fact that other people felt the same things. So I could go with a problem and know that someone else was experiencing the same worries and the same concerns. That was a lot of the time what people needed, was to know that they weren't alone. Everyone else is thinking these same thoughts and having these same worries and concerns, and that was quite powerful to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Getting it off your chest.
Yeah. But we're all going through it together, really. A lot of people have the same thoughts. They just think that I'm the only one going through this. I'm the only one who's having these, whether it's suicidal thoughts or whatever, but there are other people who are worrying about the same things.
Speaking to my mate in Ukraine, and he was messaging me saying, oh, it's my birthday next week and I can't celebrate. And I thought, just look, come on, mate, you're not the only person who's not celebrating the birthday. Everyone else is stuck inside as well, When the time comes, you'll be able to have your birthday celebrations.
Again, like you said, it's perspective, isn't it? And that is one thing that I think will help us all get out of this, is, in general, I mean, I'm not talking about people there are obviously people who are in worse case scenarios. They've lost loved ones and they're dealing with life-threatening illnesses and that. But in general, it's affecting us all. Like with job, we're on furlough, or we're working from home, or we're asked to stay in on lockdown and isolate. And that is one thing I think that'll help us, that everyone's in it together. There's a lot more like community stuff going on, isn't there? And a lot more like partnership work in the community, and people looking out for the neighbours more, and there's more stuff going on Skype. We're connecting more, really, I think.
That's how it should be anyway. Like, it should.
Yeah.
Hopefully, there's a lot of benefits that are going to come from this lockdown, and we'll be stronger together in helping each other instead of people just thinking about themselves all the time.
Yeah, definitely. I hope so. And I think there is. I think from my little corner of the world, I'm seeing a lot more people connecting and a lot more people worrying about other people rather than themselves, and that'll be massive if we can continue to take that out of this lockdown and continue to do it. Then it'll make the world a better place, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So what does the future hold for Charlie then? Once you've sort of finished wrestling, or what are your plans for the future? How many more years would you have? What is considered peak age in wrestling?
In terms of wrestling, like I've said to my dad that after 2022 I'll finish competing after the next games. But I don't know. I wouldn't.
Never
I
say
don't know.
never.
Just take it as it comes. Take it in my stride. Just don't.
Yeah.
Not really thought too much ahead. Obviously, I want to grow my career. You know, my businesses, my coaching business.
Mm-hmm.
I develop that. Try and just grow wrestling as much as I can.
Yeah.
Want to get it into some schools. You know, just expand wrestling. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
For the sport. In terms of competing, after 2022, I think that's when I'll be hanging up the boots and trying to focus more on getting my career on track, because wrestling unfortunately doesn't pay the bills.
Yeah. What? How important is it that people keep Aspel Wrestling alive? Then, how important is it that people? Is it completely run on funding, or do people pay for sessions? How does it keep itself open?
Well, a bit of both, really. The club's all voluntary run. There's 5 coaches who, you know, we all do a great job at, you know, getting kids and adults active. So it plays a big part in the local Aspel community as well, like getting a lot of kids involved in wrestling, and something that's played a big part in Wigan's heritage for a long time. So I just hope more people can see the benefits of it. We've got, I can't remember off the top of my head, we've got about 10 kids who are in the Great Britain team.
Nice.
Went to the championships this year, 11 wrestlers, and 9 of them came back with gold medals. So it's, you know, them kids have really benefited a lot from the sport. So I just hope it can inspire more people in the community to get involved in a sport more than anything, and be part of what we're trying to develop.
Definitely. I think in the Northwest in general, there are obviously some quite deprived areas in the Northwest, and like St Helens, your Wigans, Warringtons, Widnesses, and all around there, Liverpool. And I think these places like Aspel Wrestling, like Hammer that you've mentioned before, they're going to get kids off the street. They're going to get them into something constructive to learn life skills, essentially, aren't they? Like, you talk about wrestling. Pardon?
Yeah, the gold medals are nothing. They're nothing. It means nothing. It's what, you know, it's like everything we talked about today is like, what do you get out of it in the long run? And I think that's very important.
Yeah, they make you a better person, don't they? Regardless of whether you go on to achieve gold medals, it just makes you a better person in life to go on and be better, doesn't it?
Stronger, more resilient, and healthy. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, definitely, mentally and physically. Yeah. Great stuff. So, if anybody is interested in getting you down coaching or one-to-ones, or they want any more information off you, how can they get in contact with you, mate? So
I've just set up my new Facebook page. So any of my social media platforms, my new Facebook page is Charlie Bowling Wrestling, or on Instagram. Just send me a message. Feel free. Don't be intimidated or anything. You know, I'm here to help and get people involved in physical activity and answer any questions that they may have during this tricky period. Send me a message. I've just during lockdown, I've converted one of the units on the farm into a gym.
All right.
I'll be putting a post out soon about that. So hopefully after lockdown, we'll be able to, well, when it's safe to do so, I should say, get up and run and have time to take on more clients and more people and get stuck into some wrestling.
Yeah, great stuff, mate. I can say from my own experience that when we had you down for the seminar, it was fantastic. As a coach, you was patient with people who have never really done wrestling before. You was patient, really technical, and again, what we touched on before, you had different approaches for different people. I know we had Mark Rideout came down, and obviously if you spent a little bit of time one-to-one with him, the way you coached him was different to where you coach someone who's never done it before. And yeah, it was an amazing experience and top coach mates. We were really impressed. Yeah.
Glad to know. Good.
Yeah. So again, thanks for spending time this morning talking to us, and we'll see you soon, hopefully at the Jiu-Jitsu Club in Leigh.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, and I hope it's sooner rather than later.
Yeah, no, definitely. Same here. I know. Okay, I don't want to think like too far ahead again. Like we've just said, I'm trying to take one day as it comes, but I can't help but be like, oh, I'm so excited for getting back on the mats and that. I can't wait to start implementing some new stuff. But yeah, patience, and it's a virtue.
Your friends.
I know. So, mate, well, thanks for that anyway. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks very much, David. I'll
No
keep in touch and let us know when we're on.
I will do, mate. I will do.